The consignment materials are the materials which has been given by the vendor. So basically, we are giving a space to the vendor to store their material. So it's vendor's materials in our premise. Okay, it's materials in our premise where we don't have accountability for those materials. There's no accountability on us. In our account books, maybe the quantity 5,000 is there, but in our account books, it will not be impacting. Only the stock of the 5,000 is there, but in our account books is not impacting because it's still the vendor inventory. It still belongs to the vendor. It would be in our premise, but belong to the vendor. We would be paying to the vendor. Okay. We would be paying to the vendor actually when we would be consuming it. Consumption can be actual consumption, or consumption can be from that premise, the vendor premise you have taken to your storage location, or you have taken to your production location, and you say that, okay, now I have taken that material. Or same way with the pipeline materials, you have directly consumed the material into the production or consume the material against the cost center. When the consumption will happen or when the ownership transfer will happen, then we would be paying for the material. Okay, then we would be paying for it, not before that. So that is basically a consignment process. So we are getting a material from vendor, a specific location is there, he is putting the material there. So we would be having a purchase order. Against purchase order, we'll be doing a good receipt. But by the time we are doing a good receipt here, this material belongs to vendor. So accounting entries would not be generated. Accounting entries will be generated when we will be consuming the material from here. Either we'll transfer it to our location or we get it consumed. Okay, and or we move it to the unrestricted stock. From consignment stock, we move it to the unrestricted stock, which is taking into our custody. At that time, liability would be generated to the vendor. Okay, at that time, our accounting entries would be generated. And then based on the transfer we are doing, we would be doing the settlement. Settlement will happen exactly as the same way as we discussed in the pipeline procurement with transaction code MRKO. Okay, with the transaction code MRKO, the settlement is going to happen. Okay, so this is a vendor consignment process.